Picture this. A kid from Stratford, Ontario, barely 15, armed with nothing but a YouTube channel, a hoodie, and a dream, becomes the biggest pop star on the planet. The world called it Bieber fever. Crowds fainted, airports shut down, cities rioted for a glimpse. And in that tidal wave of obsession, one girl stood quietly in the background, watching, waiting, and planning her way into his world. That girl was Hailey Baldwin. At first glance, their story sounds like a modern fairy tale. The teenage fan who married her idol? But scratch beneath the surface, and what you find isn't romance. It's a slow-burn psychological war fueled by obsession, envy, and emotional exhaustion. What Justin Bieber lives with today isn't the dream of a supportive wife. It's the ghost of a fan who never stopped being one. It all started in 2009. Justin was 15, the world was losing its mind over his debut hit One Time, and Hailey was a 13-year-old girl tagging along with her dad, actor Stephen Baldwin, to the Today Show. On the surface, it looked innocent. A proud father introducing his daughter to the teenage pop phenomenon everyone loved. But that moment planted a seed that would define the rest of Hailey's life. Not long after, Hailey began appearing in Justin's orbit again, at concerts, premieres, meet and greets. Always there, but never too close. When Justin's movie Never Say Never premiered, Hailey was seen quietly standing near the purple carpet, watching. Her dad had used his connections to make it happen. This wasn't a coincidence. It was the start of something calculated. Even then, people who knew the Baldwin family whispered that Hailey wasn't like other fans. She wasn't screaming or crying for an autograph. She was studying him, the way he moved, who he spoke to, the type of girls he dated. For her, it wasn't just admiration, it was ambition disguised as devotion. By 2011, Justin was dating Selena Gomez, and the world branded them Jelena. Every magazine, every award show, every teenage dream revolved around their love story. But in the background, Hailey wasn't giving up. She had joined Bieber fan networks, started following fan accounts, and, as later exposed, even direct messaged superfan admins for information on Justin's location. One of those fans, known online as Dana, eventually revealed everything. Dana had been running a massive Bieber fan account with hundreds of thousands of followers. And Hailey? She was sliding into her DMs asking questions like, which hotel is Justin staying at? Kylie and I want to know. Whenever Dana replied, Hailey would suddenly bump into Justin, staying at the same hotel, eating at the same restaurant, sitting near his entourage. It wasn't fate. It was a strategy. Hailey was treating love like a campaign, and Justin was the prize. When you look at it from Justin's side, you start to understand where the resentment began. Imagine realizing years later that your marriage started as someone else's long game, that the person you call your wife had been tracking your every move since she was a kid. The deeper Hailey tried to insert herself into Justin's life, the more she ran into the same wall. Selena Gomez. The world adored Selena. She wasn't just Justin's girlfriend. She was his muse, his emotional anchor, and, by his own admission, the love of his life. That kind of connection doesn't just disappear. Even when Justin and Selena broke up, they'd always find their way back to each other. For Hailey, that was torture. Every reunion between Justin and Selena felt like another reminder that she was the backup plan, the person waiting in the wings. But instead of walking away, Hailey doubled down. She befriended the Jenner sisters, Kylie and Kendall, who happened to be in Justin's social circle. Suddenly, she didn't need fan accounts for intel anymore. She could hear about Justin straight from the source. This is where the manipulation began. In late 2014, when Selena took a spontaneous trip to Dubai with Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid, fans speculated it wasn't random at all, that Hailey had orchestrated it through her new friendships, clearing the way to spend New Year's Eve with Justin while Selena was out of the country. And it worked. Justin rang in the new year with Hailey by his side. But here's the thing. Justin wasn't in love. He was healing, rebelling, confused, and Hailey knew it. To him, she was a familiar face during a lonely phase. To her, it was the chance she'd been waiting years for. When Selena and Justin finally split for good, Hailey should have had peace. She got the man. The fairy tale had come true. But it wasn't enough, because Justin's heart was still somewhere else. That's when things turned dark. Fans began noticing that Hailey started copying Selena. Her clothes, poses, quotes, tattoos, even the way she spoke in interviews. It wasn't subtle. It was eerie. Selena got a small G tattoo behind her ear as a tribute to her sister. Weeks later, Hailey appeared with the same tattoo in the same spot. Selena talked about showing her heart to the world. Months later, Hailey used that exact same line word for word in a podcast. Even her cooking show, What's in My Kitchen mirrored Selena's Selena Plus chef, down to the camera angles, the homey intro, and the Nana cameo. Fans caught it instantly, and when confronted, Hailey shrugged it off as coincidence. But Justin wasn't blind. He'd lived through years of Selena's originality and authenticity. Watching someone imitate it must have been suffocating. To him, it wasn't just copying. It was a reminder of everything he'd lost. Every outfit, every phrase, every homage was another ghost of Selena haunting their marriage. In 2018, after a brief reunion with Selena that ended in heartbreak, Justin suddenly married Hailey. 6 months after telling the world he still loved Selena, he was walking down the aisle with another woman. Fans were confused. The industry was stunned. But those close to Justin whispered that the marriage wasn't born out of passion. It was born out of panic. He needed stability, structure, someone who wouldn't leave. And Hailey was there, always waiting, always ready. In interviews, Hailey later claimed they'd been dating since 2016. But the timelines don't add up. Justin was still publicly with Selena just months before the wedding. To many, it looked like a rebound. To Justin, it began to feel like one. Over time, the cracks showed. The public arguments, the awkward interviews, the forced smiles. Justin's own father-in-law, Stephen Baldwin, posted on Instagram asking people to pray for Justin and Hailey. You don't beg for prayers unless something's broken. And behind the scenes, Justin's friends allegedly noticed the shift. He wasn't glowing. He was tired, depressed. Some claimed he missed the version of himself that existed before the pressure, before the obsession, before Hailey. So why does Justin Bieber seem to resent Hailey so deeply? It's not because of one fight, one lie, or one betrayal. It's because his entire relationship with her feels like a performance he never auditioned for. Hailey spent her teenage years building a fantasy life around Justin, studying his ex, mirroring his tastes, and manipulating proximity through connections. By the time she finally got him, Justin wasn't marrying an equal. He was marrying his own myth, built by someone else's obsession. To Justin, every day with Hailey is a reminder that his life stopped belonging to him years ago. Even the things he once loved, faith, fashion, fame, became props in someone else's script. He's tried to escape it. You can see it in his interviews. The nervous laughs, the way he looks down whenever their marriage comes up, the emotional distance when fans mention love. The man who once sang about one less lonely girl now lives with one of the loneliest hearts in Hollywood. It's said Justin once told a friend that being with Hailey feels like owing something I never promised. That's not love. That's guilt dressed up as commitment. When Selena released Lose You to Love Me, the song that tore open every old wound, Hailey didn't stay quiet. She immediately posted a screenshot of I'll Kill You by Summer Walker. Fans saw it as a message, loud and clear. And Justin, he stayed silent. Because no matter what he said, it would confirm what everyone already suspected, that he never stopped caring about Selena. Even when Hailey launched her skincare line, Rhode, fans noticed it mimicked Selena's rare beauty campaigns. The color palettes, the minimalist branding, the emotional taglines, everything felt recycled. At some point, this rivalry stopped being about Justin entirely. It became about validation. Hailey wanted to be what Selena was, adored, effortless, real. But you can't copy someone's soul. You can only wear their shadow. And Justin knew that. That's why even after years of marriage, he rarely defends her publicly. Because deep down, he knows her war with Selena isn't just about jealousy. It's about identity. People close to Justin have whispered darker things. That his marriage was the result of emotional burnout, manipulation, even guilt. Some blind items claim Hailey used their pastor's guidance and emotional timing to lock down the relationship when Justin was at his most fragile. Others suggest that Justin and Selena's final breakup in 2018 followed a tragedy, a rumored miscarriage that left Justin emotionally shattered. If that's true, marrying Hailey so soon after wouldn't just be impulsive, it would be trauma-driven. Imagine being haunted by what you lost and waking up next to a constant reminder of it. That's what Justin lives with. He's trapped in a house built from his own history, surrounded by photos of a woman who studied how to be his dream girl, but never realized the real Justin stopped existing long before the wedding. Now, 6 years into their marriage, the cracks have become canyons. Rumors of separate homes, separate cars, and separate lives keep surfacing. Even Stephen Baldwin's cryptic "pray for them" post-fueled speculation that the marriage is crumbling from within. Hailey's public appearances have grown more forced. Justin often looks distant, detached, like a man fulfilling a contract instead of sharing a life. And when news broke of Hailey's pregnancy, it should have been a celebration. Instead, the internet trended Selena Gomez. Not Hailey, not Justin, not their child. That's the cruel irony of Hailey's decade-long obsession. She got everything she wanted. The marriage, the fame, the spotlight, and still lost the one thing she craved most, Justin's love. Because love can't be hunted, it has to be earned. And for Justin, the realization must sting. The woman who swore she was his biggest supporter might have been his greatest manipulator. Justin Bieber doesn't just dislike Hailey, he resents what she represents, a lifetime built on illusion. Every time he looks at her, he's reminded of the years he lost trying to find peace while someone else was scheming to claim him. He hates that his life has become a headline, that his name is still tied to a love triangle that should have ended years ago. He hates that no matter what he does, the music, the faith, the marriage, the world still sees Selena's ghost in everything. But most of all, he hates the part of himself that allowed it to happen. Because deep down, Justin knows he didn't choose Hailey out of love. He chose her out of exhaustion. So here's the dark truth behind the headlines. This isn't just a celebrity feud, it's a cautionary tale about obsession, manipulation, and emotional erosion. Hailey chased a fantasy for nearly a decade, and when she caught it, she realized the dream was hollow. Justin, on the other hand, found himself trapped inside someone else's fantasy, slowly losing the ability to recognize his own reflection. The world may keep talking about Jelena versus Hailey, but the real tragedy isn't who ended up with whom, it's how two people lost themselves in the process. Today, Justin moves like a man haunted by his past, the music quieter, the smiles forced, the spark gone. And Hailey? She's still trying to prove she's the woman he wants, when deep down, she knows she's only ever been the woman who wanted him most. The dark hidden secret behind their marriage isn't just that Justin hates Hailey, it's that he never truly loved her. And he's only now realizing that love built on obsession always turns into resentment. Because when you chase someone long enough to make them yours, you don't end up with a partner. You end up with a prisoner. And that's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. If you've got receipts or a different read, drop it in the comments. Don't hold back. I'm posting the follow-up on the PR playbook behind this mess next, so hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Watch the video on your screen now to see how the timeline really broke. Start there. I'll see you in the next one.